Is this thing working? Is this thing working? Testing, testing. I don't think this is working, man. I can just go a cappella, bro. Forget the mic, man. This was supposed to be making me making the audio sound better. I got this. This is the one I got. Not working. I don't even know why I ended up I I I ended up getting this because I thought it was supposed to. I don't even remember why I got this, but I thought it was supposed to help the mic thing. But I read Boruto chapter 25, 26, and I read 27 today. Short answer, short response to all three of these episodes, all three of these chapters, I should say, my bad. Boring. Boring. I was bored. I was bored. I'm not gonna lie. But I understand the purpose of like the downtime before things get riled up again, and things are gonna get crazy again. Um when that weird short frog looking dude shows up to the hidden leaf. But yeah, these past episodes, I mean, there was some interesting stuff going on in here. Um, like I forget which episode it was. It feels like a blur because I kind of just read one after another with these three chapters. And I think it was episode 26. I think of Boruto finally coming back to Konoha, coming back to the Hidden Leaf, and he's kind of there's these few panels of um Himawari, Boruto's sister, training with Koruma, and then it pans out to Boruto on like on an opposite like roof somewhere, watching this happen, watching Himawari in the Uzumaki household. She's living by herself, by the way, which is I guess that's normal in Japan. I don't know for like a little kid. What is she like? Himawari's like 13, 14, maybe even younger than that. Maybe like, I don't know. She could be 12 because these kids are pretty young. I think Inujin is like 14 or 15. So Himawari is probably like 12 or 13 years old. But the fact that she's that young living by herself, like, because Naruto and Hinata are out of commission currently. Boruto is not welcome in the Hidden Leaf as of right now. And so, yeah, she's living by herself, and Boruto's kind of like watching her from a distance and just seeing those subtle, facial expressions. I really love that in when people do that kind of stuff in comic books, manga, webcomics specifically. I feel like I see that specifically in manga, and I've noticed it so much more because I'm so used to manga being so the faces are so exaggerated and so like expressive, like over the top. I I feel like this like Ikimoto just really loves those subtle facial cues, and I really do appreciate it because I love doing that too, and I want to do more of that when I work on my storytelling. I think like those kind of subtle expressions could go a long way. The small grins, the quick glares, looking down or looking up, the deep breaths, all of it, man. Like that kind of stuff. It seems so small, but it can really make you resonate with the character. It can move it has the power to move the story along, as small as those facial cues are. You can just by putting it in one panel, you can be reading the story and be like, I get how this guy's feeling in this moment. Like you can relate to the character. And looking at Boruto, kind of just like watching Himawari, like you can tell like you can just tell, you can just like the human emotion is there, and you can't quite explain the emotions that's going on, but you look at him and you get it. You look at him and you get it, and I'll probably put the panels up here so you can see it, so you can see what I mean. Like and the context is Boruto has been pretty much in exile from the Hidden Leaf Village for I don't even remember how long. It's been a minute. It's been a while, and he hasn't been able to see his family. Naruto and Hinata are like unconscious in another dimension. Himawari's been living by herself in the Uzumaki household. Um, Kawaki being just as powerful as Boruto, like a watchdog in the Hindley village at this point, waiting for Boruto to do something. So, obviously things have changed now to where Kawaki has allowed Boruto to be in the Hidden Leaf. Obviously still in hiding because of a jutsu that has made everyone believe that Boruto killed his dad, that Boruto killed Naruto, and so you can understand why he wants to remain hidden, why he has to remain hidden, because even the elders, oh my gosh, the elders in this the elders in this chapter, bro, those two are still alive, bro. Oh my gosh. You barely see them in the anime, in the manga, but it's like these guys just popped up in episode 27, and I'm like, bruh, how long do these guys, I mean, I know in Japan, I don't their diet, bro, I don't know, like these guys live long, bro. So that's why I was like, okay, I guess it makes sense. Like they're eating that healthy food in Japan, man. They're eating that healthy stuff, bro. They're eating their greens. You know what I'm saying? Their broccoli and spinach. But the elders, those two elder, what are they called? Feudal lords or something? I don't know what they're called, but they're essentially their title is above the Hokage, and they're kind of the overseers of the Hokage, which currently right now is Shikamaru. And so it's interesting as like I think it's so interesting as a normal fan. I don't have like this super like newscaster kind of these reviews. I just kind of am someone who read the Boruto manga and now I'm just talking about it. I'm just my raw feelings and just what I'm seeing. But overall, I would say these three chapters, 25, 26, 27. This is the boring stuff. This is the information. Um, and I wish there was a better way for Ikamoto um, to do this, to like put the information while the story's moving along. I just feel like stuff like this, it just kind of puts the story to a halt. It feels like. And I guess in a sense, you're giving the characters a break and you're giving the reader like a mental break. I don't know. It just feels like, me personally, speaking for myself, like it takes me out of the immersion, I feel like, because it's almost like the story is stopping and the creator is like, okay, I kind of have to explain what's going to happen next. And so let me just stop everything and get everyone in a room and and this is these are the chapters where you see most of the text bubbles. You see a bunch of text and it's one of those, man. Um but there's a lot of good stuff in here. Like I say, I really appreciate the moments with Boruto in them. Like when he's not talking and you just kind of the panels are just for his face, you know, and you can kind of imagine how he's feeling coming back to the Hidden Leaf, just to check on his sister, to check on I hope I'm what's her name? Moegi. After they saved her in the hidden sand village. They got her out of that tree and she's back with Konohamaru, and even Konohamaru's expression when he saved her and he just gave her that big hug, man. I felt that when I read it. I was like, ooh. And I love those panels. I hope Ikimoto just kind of like hones in and becomes a specialist at like these facial expressions, because you just build an emotional bond with these characters when you have moments like that. I think all of that happened in episode 26 and 27, or I could be wrong. It's between 25 and 27. 25, 26, 27. all three of those chapters. And who knows? Maybe those were the moments Ikimoto wanted to use to emotionally, you know, tie back in the audience with those little moments. He could have been planning on doing that. But I really appreciate these episodes. This stuff brings meaning to the fight scenes. The weight, the stakes, the excitement. Inojin, he's learning a new jutsu. We find this out in chapter 27 now. Who knows what it's going to be? It's connected, from what we know, it's connected to his ability to use what is that jutsu called that the Yamanakas use? In mind transfer jutsu? No, that's not it. I don't know. It's one of their stuff, and he has to learn it within 2 days, which is crazy. I think the next invasion, uh, with the opposition, you know, Jiren's squad, that weird frog guy who's going to invade because he wants to absorb Ada. He comes in like 2 weeks. That's what Jiren says in this chapter. He's going to arrive in 2 weeks because Jiren has this ability to see in the future, and he can see that he's coming to Konoha within 2 weeks. And Inujin has to learn this jutsu that seems pretty important within 2 days. And also, they mention that Himawari, in one of these futures, Jiren says that she ends up dying, which actually makes sense to me because I think, what's his name? Dang, I gotta remember these names, bro. One of the Divine Tree guys wants to absorb her, and he's a pretty powerful dude. He's a pretty powerful guy, and so it makes sense that in one of these timelines or in multiple timelines, he ends up getting to her, and this kind of fuels Inogen to learn whatever jutsu he's got to learn within 2 days. Um, and so that's going to be interesting. So it seems like they're short on time, but at the same time, they got a little bit of time to prep, to catch their breath, and to get ready. And they're ready for this guy. They're ready for this guy. They're probably gonna raise all the defenses. They got their Jonin level ninja probably ready, and it's gonna be interesting, man. You got all the powerful players in Konoha ready for this. We have Sarada, who's now unlocked from Mangekyo. Boruto's here. Kawaki's here. I was about to say Konohamaru. Man, man, bro. They did him dirty in that interrogation room. He's getting interrogated in chapter 27. And the guy interrogating him basically says, because he thinks that he could be an accomplice for Boruto. And he basically is talking to Konohamaru, and he's thinking in his head, bro, he's like, man, this guy is too stupid to be an accomplice, bro. It's not him, bro. It's not him. This guy's an idiot, bro. Like, and you kind of think about it, you like, yeah, yeah. Like, I guess, like, throughout Naruto, Konohamaru hasn't really been represented as one of the smarter um ninja, as one of the smarter people in Konoha. Like he's right there with Naruto when he was a kid. Like he's not the bright Konohamaru has never been the brightest guy. And so I just think it's funny that this dude interrogating him is like pointing that out, like, dang, like like he is way too dumb to be like a mole. But dang, they did him dirty, bro. But this was cool. This was like the cool off downtime these past 3 chapters of Boruto. Um, Me personally, I want to see Sarada really go at it with her Mangekyou Sharingan. She didn't really have a chance to in this chapter because man, Damon got to her real quick. Damon is an interesting. I mean, he's not interesting. That's not the right word. He's not. Damon isn't like interesting, but he is apparently very OP. I mean, we haven't seen him use his true powers. Maybe we'll see that when this frog like weird beard dude shows up in the next few weeks. But honestly, he might be way stronger than that guy too. I just have a feeling it's just I don't know. He seems way too powerful. It's like what is someone that OP doing in Konoha and he's not going out taking down the enemy, you know? But I mean, he is just there to protect Ada because that's his sister. So I guess. And you know, and these past few chapters has also been some of the girl stuff going on with Sumire. I thought her name was Sumire. It's Sumire. My bad. Sumire and Sarada. They're dynamic. Them confessing their love for Boruto to one another. Ada kind of eavesdropping and wanting in on the convo. And now they're like they've confessed their friendship for for each other, and Ada loves them as friends, and all that mushy girl stuff, which I also appreciate because I don't know. A lot of people have complained in the past about the characters, the girl characters in Naruto, that they're not flushed out, that they're not well written, and I guess you hear that a lot in manga and anime in general. I don't agree with it. I mean, it's like in my opinion, like if you want to have a like if you want to have a more realistic approach on women, you know what? Maybe I should not. Maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm not a girl, so I don't know how they think, and that might be the reason why you see such poor adaptations of women in manga, specifically in stuff like Naruto and yeah, like Naruto, because Masashi Kishimoto, I feel like he's mentioned like, yo, he doesn't want to do romance stuff like that. Whether it's because he's uncomfortable or whether it's because he just doesn't know how to do that stuff. I don't know. It's just guys, I feel like we tend to lean more towards the mental stuff and the action stuff, you know? Not to say women can't do that either, and not to say that men are capable of doing romance. It's just I completely get it, like where Masashi Kishimoto, you know, is coming from because, like me myself, like I'm thinking about romance stuff in my webcomic, you know, right now, and it's just like, man, do I want to go to these certain spots, like, cause you know, I guess I can go off of my romantic relationships in the past, but it's like, man, it's so weird making your characters act that out because I don't know. It feels awkward, you know. But if you wanna really commit to the story and get your reader immersed, you might have to take those steps, take those, you know, take it there, you know. But I'm rambling, but these episodes were good. They were necessary. They had some key moments in them. Boruto's gonna get a new sword. That's cool. You know, he's gonna get an upgrade on Sasuke's blade. Can't wait to see what happens, bro. If it turns into like a lightsaber or something, I feel like that's where it's going at this point. It's just gonna be some kind of lightsaber, bro. That just that'd be crazy though. I'm not against it, but I don't know. We'll see. But like I say, man, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll see you later. Peace. Oh, guys, before I forget, I just dropped a new episode of my webcomic, Wayne the Warrior Ultimate, on Webtoons. And I left a link in a post on my YouTube channel. So, yes, just go ahead and click that link. And please support my webcomic. Please consider following and becoming a consistent, permanent reader to the webcomic, man. I just dropped episode 2 and I'm currently working on episode 3. And I'm just really excited to be working on this story, man. So, yeah, I'll see you.